So after about 10 months, the chugger's all done, except of course for the Davidson stickers, which go on the sides of the hull near the stern. I haven't put those on yet because I have to wet sand the gel coat and polish the hull, which I will do when the weather improves. Well, I didn't pick the nicest day to video my boat, but you'll get the idea. So there we are, folding swim ladder, barbecue, decent size rudder, removable tiller. There's the cockpit, some comfortable seating. There's the top of the wheelhouse, I guess you'd call it. So it's a 60 watt solar panel. There's the dry exhaust, radar reflector, horn, fold down antenna, sliding windows that I made. Here's the helm station. So what have I got there? Voltmeter, depth sounder, fuel gauge, oil pressure gauge, tachometer, and temperature gauge. VHF radio. The round thing is the autopilot control. My iPad, which I use for navigation. And then we've got sink cabinet with a sink with pressure water, with a flexible tank under the V-berth. Got a solar control panel, AM/FM CD stereo, USB outlet with another voltmeter, battery switch, some little racks I made for different things, book rack, fire extinguisher. And there's another rack for all the assorted soaps and cleaners that I use on the boat. You wouldn't think so, but in this little sink cabinet there's actually quite a bit of storage. So there's room for my kettle and all my pots and dishes and junk, cutlery, whatnot, all tightly stowed away. This canvas, both sides roll up. If I choose to do that, the centerpiece rolls up and it actually just snaps on really quickly, so I'll probably won't even use the canvas when the weather improves. But it's there if I choose to. It keeps the cabin heat in quite well. There's a diesel heater behind this panel. The reason it's covered up is I didn't like the look of it because it's orange and blue, which is really strange on a gray boat. Here's another look at the helm station and the bifold doors into the V-berth that fold up tightly against the helm station. These are the start battery and the house battery, all wired up correctly with super expensive marine grade tinned wiring. It's like all the other wiring in the boat. Here's the stuffing box and the bilge pump. There's the aft end of the cockpit floor. So I've got this automatic submersible bilge pump, and this is also the inlet for the hand bilge pump. And as you can see, everything is bonded in the boat to the big zinc on the side of the hull below the water. And I take this panel off in the cockpit to access the aft end of the engine. And there's the filler for the transmission. So it's all quite accessible. This is obviously the engine box. Tilts up like this. And then you have, there's the box tilted up. It slides off if I choose to do that, but as it is, everything is very accessible for maintenance. Fan belt, oil filter, dipstick for the engine oil, fuel injector is right there, coolant, oil filler, oil pump for removing the engine oil when I change the oil. So that's the engine, nicely cleaned up and painted. This is my little butane stove, which works really well. Just uses those cheap butane canisters, and I use that in the cabin all the time. And in the summertime, or not in the summertime necessarily, but when the weather's better, I can use it out in the cockpit. Here's the starboard side of the steering area of the boat. So I've got these storage spaces in there. The round black thing is a heater outlet that I can turn any direction I want. There's storage. There's the bottom there is the stove I use, the butane stove. I just whip that out and I can put it either on the engine hatch or in the cockpit seats. There's my helm seat. I often turn it this way, sideways, and I can put my feet up on the engine box. Quite comfortable. Here's a little table I made for when I'm sitting in a seat. I can just dip this down like that. This pulls out, and that allows this top section to flip down. So there you go, a nice little table. And there it is, stowed out of the way again. Here's the V-berth area. That piece of upholstered foam fits just aft of that other piece over the head to make a larger, more comfortable bunk. You're looking at the expanse of the windows. Some storage there. Head obviously. Looking out this side. This is the forward side of the bulkhead at the helm station. This is the fuse panel. So that's what's in there. Fuses, steering, bunch of wiring. That is the heater outlet into the V-berth area, which is very effective. Dome light in the V-berth area. Lifting up this panel between the two cabins exposes the fuel filter housing and the fuel filter, and the vacuum gauge for the fuel system, which will indicate if the fuel filter is plugged. And then removing this panel gives access to the water pressure pump and storage for other things. This is where I keep my small complement of tools. Now I'm going to fire the engine up, put the ignition on. I'll turn the alarm off for a minute because while I do the glow plugs, so you don't have to listen to that. But yeah, there are 27 feet of depth. That's where my boat is, in case anybody wants to come and steal it. That's probably enough for the glow plugs. Let's see. I didn't give it any extra throttle. I could, but I'll try it without. exhaust. So I'm going to go out for a spin to dial in my autopilot. That's about it. I think when the weather improves a bit and gets a bit warmer and sunny, I'll make a few cruising videos. That's it. Top Gun Guy signing off for now. With my new Davidson Chugger Intrepid.